तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ओम तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and from yesterday we have come to the English book After the Passing Away. So the talk is about Varahanagar Math, and in Bengali page in English today is 987, date Saturday, May 7, 1887. In Bengali, it is included in the appendix, Parishishta, and the page number for today is 1136 in the Akhanda edition. Now, yesterday we discussed that Master Masha is included in Parishishta because he does not think it is a part of the Gospel, and yet he has described it. So, Nikhilananji or the Ramakrishna Mission thought that it is actually the continuation of Sri Ramakrishna Leela, how his disciples behaved, how they followed his instructions in life. So, because of that, in English, it is taken in a continuation. It is called chapter . Oh, lot of it yesterday we read. It is called chapter 52, After the Passing Away. So we have read a few days there, the introduction and all that. And today we have come to the conversation of Saturday, May 7, 1887. It was the full moon day of the month of Vaishak, that is Indian calendar. And this Vaishak, normally in Bengal, it is a solar month. And around 14th April, the Vaishak starts. So it is apparent that it is okay. So it is not necessary that it is 15th day of the Bengali month. So two things are mixed here. The Purnima or Tithi is according to the lunar calendar. And so Purnima is mentioned, but Purnima need not be in the middle of the solar month. And so it is Vaishak is continuing, and now it is Purnima. So it was the full moon day of the month of Vaishak. Narendra and M were seated on a coach in M's study in Calcutta. So actually, it is not Varanagar Math even, but the Leela continues. And Naren has gone to M's study room in Calcutta. And there they are talking. They were talking just before Narendra's arrival. M had been studying The Merchant of Venice, Comus, and black is self-culture, which he taught at school. So M says that he was busy in worldly studies in a way because he had to teach in the school, but the books are they are worldly books. So that he shows that he had that thing in the mind. But after Naren came, the whole thing changed. Narendra and the other brothers of the monastery were full of yearning. So he is remembering the monastery even in his own home. Were full of yearning for God realization. This is the continuation of the Leela. A fire of intense renunciation raged in their hearts. This, where is my mark? Sorry, I skipped some pages. Sorry, I skipped some pages. 983, Friday, April 8, 1887. I wrongly skipped some pages. So we are going back. Page 983 in English, Friday, April 8, 1887. In Bengali, I already told you, 1136, Tritiya Parichet. About 8 o'clock in the morning. So we're in Vivekananda Math. That day is a different day. About 8 o'clock in the morning, two devotees, one a householder and the other a monk, names are not given, were conversing in a room in the Varanagar monastery when M came in. The devotees were of the same age, 24 or 25 years old, same age between them, not same age as Master Mashe. Master Mashe is much elderly. M intended to spend 3 days at the monastery. So he has already told us that M's life was much akin to the sannyasi's life. And to get that spiritual fervor, he used to spend nights also in Varanagar Math, though there was no convenience like his home. He went to the shrine and saluted the deity. After visiting Narendra, Rakhal and the other brothers, he at last came into the room where the two devotees were engaged in conversation. The householder devotee wanted to renounce the world. The monk was trying to persuade him not to do so. The monk knew that the time is not yet ripe for the householder devotee, and so he was persuading not to do. Monk, why don't you finish the few duties you have in the world? Very soon they will be left behind. So he was encouraging also, be a little patient. Very soon those duties will be over. So why not finish them? So duties should not be left incomplete. That is another lesson we are getting from here. And he tells a story that sannyasi. A man was told he would go to hell. He asked the monk to draw a picture of the hell on the ground with a piece of chalk. No sooner was the picture drawn than the man rolled over it and said, "Now I have gone through hell." This is actually a story told by Sri Ramakrishna himself about Vishnu, Bhagwan and Narada. The friend is telling him only with the purpose that it will be quickly finished. So that quick finish he has shown by the friend rolling on the ground and saying, "My hell is over." So that much quickly your duties will be finished and then you can come. That is the lesson. Householder, I don't relish worldly life. Ah, how happy you are here. Now they see the happiness of the monks. They do not see absolute inconvenience in that house, haunted house. So the monks are happy because they always are filled with the thought that Ananda Murti, Shri Bhagavan, is within their heart. That is the only reason by which they are happy, not by outside circumstances. Mom, why don't you renounce the world if you want to? So, if you are so much eager, then you renounce. But you are talking only. It shows that your duties are not complete. Your life in the world is not complete. So when you see we are happy and all that, why not join? Why don't you renounce the world if you want to? Why don't you renounce the world if you want to? Why do you talk about it so much? But I repeat, that means this is when he is expressing eagerness, then this is the answer. But means the original answer stands. Repeat. But I repeat, why don't you enjoy the fun once for all? Now what is this? Shri Ramakrishna has said, unless bhoganta happens, unless your enjoyment in the world is over, it is very difficult to renounce. Even if you renounce, you may have a longing, lingering look behind. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna talked about, bhoganta. Of course, bhoganta does not happen simply by enjoying, but the thought of renunciation has already come. The Vivek and Vairagya has already been born. With that mind, if one finishes what bhogas are due in his life, then he can renounce well. So that is called bhoganta. Not simply enjoying. If you enjoy, then there will be no end of that enjoyment. But when already the spirit of renunciation has come, when already you have proper discrimination, then whatever little enjoyments are left, they should be finished. Otherwise, the mind goes on having a longing, lingering look behind even after you know. That is the full idea of Bhoganta. And Sri Ramakrishna has told that. The sannyasi Shishya knows it. And that is why he is telling like this. That conversation is over. Now, Shashi finished the regular worship in the worship hall. Shashi was in charge of worship. Shashi was in charge of serving Thakur. And after the passing away, he believed he had darshan, not only believed, he has clear awareness that in the relics, Sri Ramakrishna is still living. And so he was worshipping those relics as if he is serving Sri Ramakrishna. That is what Shashi's importance is there. Shashi finished the regular worship in the worship hall. About 11, the brothers of the Math returned from the Ganges after taking their bath. This is generally the Bengali habit and is followed to certain extent in the Belur Math. That after bath, there is an artificial hunger. So they take bath just before the noon lunch. After that, they sit for food. So that is the custom followed by the disciples. They put on clean clothes, went to the shrine, prostrated themselves before the deity. The deity is a pot containing Sri Ramakrishna's relics, and meditate there a little while. So immediately after coming from bath, they did not sit for meal. After coming from bath, went to the shrine and meditated there a little, and then would come for food. So that much is noon time. Now in the evening, it was evening. Incense was burned before the pictures of gods and goddesses. So along with that, what was called the Atmaram box, there were other gods and goddesses as they were in Sri Ramakrishna's room. And among the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, there is no narrowness. There is no fanaticism. that Sri Ramakrishna is the only God and there is no other God. Like some of the Vaishnavas or Shaktas or other communities do. For them, Krishna is only God, nobody else. But that is not the spirit of Sri Ramakrishna's disciples as taught by Sri Ramakrishna. And so, in the evening, incense was burned before the pictures of gods and goddesses, and that is one of the traditions in Hinduism. Just before the arati, incense, dhoop, is burned in everywhere near the gods and goddesses pictures. And the evening service was performed after that. Rakhal, Shashi, the elder Gopal, and Harish were seated in the big hall. M also was there. Rakhal warned one of the brothers to be careful about the food to be offered to the master in the shrine. Rakhal to Shashi and others, one day I ate a part of his, meaning Sri Ramakrishna, his Rakhal warned one of the brothers to be careful about the food to be offered to the master in the shrine. Hmm. Rakhal warned one of the brothers. Rakhal to Shashi and the others, one day I ate part of his, meaning the master's refreshments, before he took them. At this he said, I cannot look at you. How could you do such a thing? I burst into tears. Do you understand the meaning? The food meant for offering to God cannot be given to anybody else. It has to be offered to God only. After that, you can eat. And Sri Krishna, being God himself, automatically, naturally followed this custom that the food which is to be given to them, mind you, this is not ego or aristocracy. Sri Krishna knows very well by now that he is God himself, and food has to be offered to God. That cannot be given to anybody else. Please remember, those who worship gods in their house should also remember that as soon as the food is prepared, it should be first offered to God and then they can consume. So when he scolded Rakhal, Rakhal is telling his memory, so I wept. The elder Gopal, he is telling something more. Rakhal has eaten. One day at Kashipur, I breathed hard on his food. At this he said, take that food away. So if you breathe hard, your air from your nose and mouth touches that food. It becomes polluted. So those who offer food to God should remember all this. So it is mentioned in the gospel that Rakhal told he ate. No, Elder Gopal said he only breathed hard on the food and Sri Ramakrishna could not eat. It is not that he did not eat, he could not eat. So he said, take this food away. M and Narendra were pacing. So that much is over. Next, now M and Narendra were pacing the veranda and recalling old times. Narendra, I did not believe in anything which the Thakur taught. M, you mean the forms of God? Narendra, at first I did not accept most of what the master said, not only forms of God, but whatever the master said, most of it I did not accept. One day he asked me, then why do you come here? I replied, I come here to see you, not to listen to you. Notice the background. He had said one more thing at that time. Though remembering is the only thing I am come to see. He had said, I love you. I like to look at you. And there I came. That's why I come. Not for the talks you give. No, it has a lot of meaning. That means he's in a way as if ridiculing Sri Ramakrishna's talk, saying those things we read in the books also. So it is not for that I come. Now he loves Sri Ramakrishna. What does it mean? It is an attraction, chemical, not at all. He loves to see, and by seeing, to judge what is Sri Ramakrishna's nature. And so that makes him love Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna's inner nature, which is revealed only by looking at him for people like Narendranath, not for everybody. Narendra sometimes took his selected friends. They said he has taken us to an ordinary man. Why make so much of it? So it is both in the personality of Sri Ramakrishna and in the judgment of Narendranath, which is evolved mainly because his keenness to realize God. So those who are keen to realize God, they only understand an incarnation. Otherwise, people say, one of the devotees I know, he said, Hindus have 33 crores of God. Why? You want one more? There has been Rama, there has been Krishna. Why there is Ramakrishna? Even in those days, the people talk like that about 33 crore gods. So, all people difficult to appreciate Sri Ramakrishna. Those who get a little hankering, they can appreciate. And Naren was an exception. This love of Thakur. It is Thakur loved Narendra because of his spiritual potential. And Narendra loved Thakur for the manifestation of spirituality. And it is this love which bound Narendranath, though he did not believe many things which Sri Ramakrishna said. In the first one or two meetings, he had thought Sri Ramakrishna is mad or half mad. And yet I must come to him. I must see, critically analyze how so many ideals of life are manifested in him. That is why I must come, he had said. So he saw in Sri Ramakrishna whatever he imagined to be ideals of human life. And that he said, Sadhana Swamiji said that if he had some idea of 100%, this or that, renunciation, love of the entire humanity, in Sri Ramakrishna we saw 250%. So our 100% imagination itself fell short. So that is why they are attracted to Sri Ramakrishna. M. What did he say to that when you said you do not want to listen and he has said like that to Sri Ramakrishna and has said, I love you, so I come. Narendra said he was very much pleased. So Narendra has understood that inside me there is full manifestation of spirituality and that pleased him. And by that, Narendra is attracted and comes. We go to Saturday, April 9, 1887, because Master Mashe will be spending 3 days there. So this is the second day. The members of the Math were resting a little after their meal. Narendra and I sat under a tree in the garden to the west of the monastery. It was a solitary place and no one else was present. That is why Naren could recount many things to the master. At every step he is telling, don't tell it to others. But Master Masha did not tell, but he has put it in the books for the future generation. Narendra was recounting to him his various experiences with Sri Ramakrishna. Narendra was about 24 years old at that time and M32. So Master Macha was little elderly, married, and yet there was a similarity between his mind and Thakur's monastic disciples, and he wanted very much to share their experiences to as much as he could. You must vividly your first visit to him. Narendra, yes. It was at the temple garden at Dakshineshwar. They had met together before in Rambabu's or Surendranath's house, but that was not his visit to Sri Ramakrishna. So first visit to Sri Ramakrishna is in Dakshineshwar garden. Yes, it was at the temple garden at Dakshineshwar, in his own room. That day I sang 2 songs. They represent Narendra's mind at that time. In addition to that, he was learning classical music, so he was asked whether he knows any Bengali songs. In classical music, mostly he was learning the Hindi song. So it came to pass that he knew only a very few Bengali songs. So Thakur asked him to sing from that. And now, through these 2 songs, we shall understand Narendra's mind as he visited Sri Ramakrishna. So, as is our custom, I read the songs in Bengali and then in English. मन चलो निज निकेतने संसार विदेशे विदेशीर वेशे ब्रह्म कनो अकारणे विषय पंचक आर्भूतगण सब तोर पर केवु नयापन पर प्रेमे कनो होयो मगन भूली छो आपन जने सत्य पथे मौन करो आरोहण प्रेमेर आलो जाली चलो अनुखान संगे ते संबल राखो पुण्य धन गोपने अति जतने लोभ मोह आदि पथे दस्युगण पथिकेर करे सर्वस्व मोषण परम जतने राखो रे प्रहरी क्षम दम दुई जने साधु संग नामे आचे पंथ धाम श्रांत होले तथा करियो विश्राम पथ भ्रांत होले सुधायो पद से पांत निवासी गणे यदि देखो पथे भयरी आकार प्राणपणे दियो दोहाई राजार से पथे राजार प्रबल प्रताप क्षम न डरे जार शासने. It's an allegory about mind and its travel. The meaning is very clear. Let us go to English and read. Narendra sang them for him. Let us go back once more. Sang them for him means him has asked, please sing. Let us go back once more, O mind, to our own abode. Here in this foreign land of earth, why should we wander aimlessly in strangers' guise? These living beings around about and the 5 elements are strangers to you. 5 Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, which form all the objects of the world which tempt you and attract you. And the 5 elements. The living beings around here above all and the 5 elements are strangers to you. All of them, none is your own. Why do you thus forget yourself in love with strangers, O my mind? Why do you thus forget your own? Ascend the path of truth, O mind. Unflaggingly climb with love as the lamp to light your way. So love is the force which takes one to God. As your provision for the journey, bring with you the virtues carefully concealed. It is not a show. For like to highwaymen, greed and delusion wait to rob you of your wealth, that is, that virtues, and keep beside you constantly as guards to shelter you from harm, but to calmness of mind and self-control. There as watchmen will help you, guide you. Companionship with holy men will be for you a welcome rest house by the road. So you can rest a little only where there is a company of holy men. There rest your weary limbs a while, seeking, asking your way. So who will show you? Those people. If ever you should be in doubt, then you ask, otherwise you go straight. Of him who watches there. Ask your way of him who watches there if you are in doubt. If ever you should be in doubt of him who watches there, if anything along the path should frighten you, then loudly shout the name of the Lord, for he is the ruler of that road, and even death must bow to him. So all that road and everything is under God's protection. And so, in case of fear, you shout his name, take loudly. He will come and help you. Next song. This is, first song was more of a general nature. Second song is exactly what Naren was feeling. जावे की है दिना मार विफले चलिए आचे नाथ दीवानिशी आशा पथ निरखिए तुम्ही त्रिभुवन नाथ आम्ही भिकारी अनाथ केमुने बोलिबो तोमाय एशो हे मम हृदये हृदय कुटीर द्वार खुले राखे निवार कृपा करी एक बार ऐसे की जुड़ाओ ये is the cry of the devotee's heart. English, O Lord, down the path of hope I gaze with longing day and night. Thou art the Lord of all the worlds, and I but a beggar here. How can I ask of thee to come and dwell within my heart? But he asked, that is the devotee. My poor heart's humble cottage door is standing open wide. Be gracious, Lord, and enter there but once and quench its thirst. But once, Akbar. Okay. Akbar, I don't think it should be translated as one. Akbar means at least one. Disturbing, but what should I do? अरे क्लास चालू आहे सध्या बोलू नको. M. What did he say after listening to your song? Narendra. He went into samadhi. So anything which triggers spiritual awakening, Thakur goes into samadhi. He said to Rambabu, Ramchandra Datta was present there. Who is Narendra has gone with Ram and Surendra. They had taken him in their carriage. When Thakur first saw Narendra in that house, he told him to come to Dakshineshwar and he told Ram and Surendra to bring him to Dakshineshwar. That is why they are also there. He said to Rambabu, who is this boy? How well he sings? He asked me to come again. M. Where did you see him again? The question is, where did you see him again? Where did you see him next? Narendra. At Rajmohan's house. But he does not want to tell more about it. Nothing much could have happened. The third visit was at Dakshineshwar. So himself brings the third visit, because that is the second visit to Dakshineshwar, and many things happened. In between, he had gone to Rajmohan's house, but that he does not describe. During that visit, he went into Samadhi and began to praise me as if I were God. He said to me, O Narayana, you have assumed the body for my sake. But Narendra is telling M now. But please don't tell this to anybody else. He does not want to publicize it. And Master Mashai might have kept that. But now he has put it in the gospel for the whole world to read because he thinks it is spiritually advisable. M. What else did he say? Narendra. He said, you have assumed the body for my sake. I asked the Divine Mother, Thakur is telling, I asked the Divine Mother, Mother, unless I enjoy the company of some genuine devotees completely free from woman and God, how shall I live on earth? I stopped because that word enjoyment was never liked by my teacher. Enjoyment signifies a subject enjoying the object. And Thakur has not uttered that in the Bengali. So I looked into Bengali. I read the line in Bengali for those who understand. I will try to translate it. Ma ami ki jete pari? Oh, jete pari means from his own nature coming down to earth. That is jete pari. Gele kar sange katha kabo? If I go there, with whom shall I talk? মা কামিনী কাঞ্চন ত্যাগী শুদ্ধ ভক্ত না পেলে কেমন করে পৃথিবীতে থাকবো? If I do not get a pure devotee bereft of any kamini kanchan woman and gold attraction, how can I live on earth? That is the talk. Then he said to me, you came to me at night, woke me up and said, here I am. Now, whether Narendra was born or not, might have been born, and Thakur knew it by his divine vision in the night itself. Narendra does not know it because he is seeing the gross world, and Thakur is aware of the subtler ways of God. Then he said to me, you came to me at night, woke me up and said, here I am. But I did not know anything of this. I was sound asleep in our Calcutta house. So after he is born, he is in Calcutta house, and in the night he went to Sri Ramakrishna in his subtle body or mentally, without his own knowledge outside. So he says, I did not know anything of this. M says, in other words, you may be both present and absent at the same time. Present where? In his house. In the gross body, subtle body is absent. And with Thakur present in the subtle body, gross body is in his house. It is like God, who is both formless and endowed with form. So that is a simile quoted by Master Machaya. Formless. Form means gross form. Formless means inner spirit. Narendra. But you must not tell this to anyone else. He is repeating after every incident recounted. I was sound asleep in my Calcutta. But you must not tell this to anyone else. At Kashipur, he transmitted his power to me. Didn't it happen when you used to meditate before a lighted fire under a tree at the Kashipur Garden House? So, M has known something of this, so is confirming. Narendra, yes. One day while meditating, I asked Kali to hold my hand. Kali said to me, when I touched your body, I felt something like an electric shock coming to my body. That is not that power, huh? Another incident. Narendra felt he has got power to transmit his spirituality to others, but he did not know that if you transmit your own mode to others, it disturbs them. Sri Krishna transmitted spirituality to many, but only the force of the spiritual awakening, and everybody experienced different things. And that is what Sri Krishna taught Narendranath also. And Narendra did it throughout his life later on. So this incident, Sardan Swami has just introduced by one word, the child like Narendra or the boy like Narendra. That means Narendra was not mature enough to understand that much. So, but you must not tell this to anybody here. Give me your promise. Master Mashay does not say he has given promise, but the way Narendra said, he must have given it. M. There is a special purpose in his transmission of powers to you. He he will accomplish much work through you. One day the master wrote on a piece of paper, Naren will teach people. He could not talk because of his sore in the throat. And so he wrote on a paper. And everybody saw it. But Narendra protested, he resisted. He did not want to take the position of a teacher. And so Narendra, but I said to him, I won't do any such thing. Thereupon he said, understood? First he wrote, and Narendra resisted, then he brought all his powers and he spoke actually. Then he said, your very bones will do it. You understand the bones doing it? I will do it using your body. So you will not be a doer. You will not do it, except, but I will do it through your body. So he says, your bones will do. You are bound to do. I am bound. I am going to work through your body. He has given me charge of Sharat. Sharat is now yearning for God. The Kundalini is awakened in him. We know these things, I read many times, that Kundalini awakening means the real spiritual anchoring, awakening has started. And so he has to be guided for the further progress. M. He must be careful that dead leaves do not accumulate there. You must have heard this from Sri Ramakrishna. Perhaps you remember what the master used to say, in a lake, the fish make holes so that they may rest there. But if dead leaves accumulate in the holes, the fish do not go there. So that spiritual awakening will not remain if the other thoughts accumulate there. Narendra. Narendra has no response for this. Narendra. The master used to call me Narayana. M. Yes, I know he did. Now, actually, it is not only calling, but visualizing. So, Naren says, when he was ill, he would not allow me to pour water to wash his hand because Narayana. At Kashipur, he said, now the key is in my hand. After Naren got Nirvikalpa Samadhi, by again and again praying to Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna allowed it to happen, but said you will not always get it because you have to do work of the mother. Thakur could remain in Nirvikal Samadhi and come down and work. But for Naren, that Nirvikal Samadhi experience will be locked. He will definitely always remember that the God is real and the world is unreal, but that experience of going beyond all will not be available to him always. If he has always that experience, he will not be able to teach. So, Sri Ramakrishna is a magician. He could do anything. At Kashipur, he said, oh, no, that is over. Pour water in my hands. He will give up his body when he knows who he is. Now, who he is, that has to be understood. He is Brahman, and that he has already known in Nirvikal Samadhi. But who as a person he is? We know two things Thakur has told about him. He is the Nararupi Narayan. God long back meditated and awakened the Advaita Jnana which had gone to sleep in by tapasya in Badrikashram. And there Narayana and Nara Rishi, they had gone together. And that Nara Rupi Narayana, that was also a form of God, that Narendra is one version of Thakur. Second, Thakur has brought him from the Saptarshi Mandal. Which one of the Rishi does not tell. But he said that there is a Khanda, that means parts of God, and there is a Akhanda region where no gods also can go. But 7 rishis of ancient wisdom are sitting there meditating, always merged in samadhi. So they have their personality, and yet they are the Akhanda knowledge. Such people are extremely rare. So only 7. And one of them is Narendra Nath. Some people feel a doubt whether he was this or that. He can be both. He might be Narupi Narayan and he might have taken the form of Rishi. So both may be true. These are the two versions Thakur has told. Now if you remember, that is called if he knows his nature. His real nature is Brahman, and that he has known. That is not to be forgotten. So he knows. But as a person, he may be Nara or he may be one of the 7 sages. If he knows that, he will not like to live in the world. And that is why we find he wanted to finish everything and go back. So that is what Thakur means here. Didn't he say it when you were in Nirvikal Samadhi, that locking and all that? Narendra, yes. At the time it seemed to me I had no body. So he's describing the Nirvikal Samadhi now as much as he could. I felt only my face. After coming down from Samadhi also, I was studying law at home to prepare for the examination. Another incident is telling. Prior to this, suddenly I said to myself, what am I doing? Didn't it happen when the master was at Kashipur? Narendra, yes. Like an insane person, I ran out of my house, our house. He asked me, what do you know? He ran, one of the footwear had gone away, he did not care, and he passed near a stack of hay, and that was all covering his body, and he ran. That much madness had come to him. Yes, like an insane person, I ran out of house. He asked me, what do you want? I replied, I want to remain immersed in samadhi. He said, what a small mind you have. This one has to be properly understood. One thing is that people say after Nirvikal Samadhi, nothing can be there. For an ordinary Jivan, nothing may be there. But a real Jnani, after Nirvikal Samadhi, he comes back and sees the world is full of God, called immanence of God. And so that he says, what a small mind you have. And that another thing, it signifies a sort of spiritual selfishness. And Naren is not born for that. Naren is born for distributing that spirituality throughout the world. So he says, little mind. What a small mind you have. Go beyond Samadhi. Samadhi is a very trifling thing for people like Narendranath. Yes, he used to say that Vijnana is the stage after Jnana. In Samadhi, you will get Jnana. Then you will have to come and form an intense relation with God. That is Vijnana, according to Thakur's language. It is like going up and down the stairs after reaching the roof. After reaching the roof, going down by the same stairs. Narendra. Kali has a craving for knowledge. I scold him for that. Is knowledge so easy to get? Let his bhakti first mature. So this is the lesson Shri Ramakrishna has taught everybody, a unique lesson. The so-called Jnani should remember this. It is the love which transforms your mind. And when your love for God in the gospel, more frequently we have got this sentence from Thakur that love of God is the essential thing. Love of God is one should anchor for, because that love is a transforming force and that will take you to God. Some people feel this is not according to Shankaracharya, but they forget. In the Viveka Chudamani, remember Viveka Chudamani, courage jewel of discrimination. And in that he has said, Moksha sadhana samagram bhakti reva gariyasi. And when I propose it somewhere among the Vedantis, we don't accept this. Now what to do? They will say, oh, bhakti is not what you call bhakti. Bhakti, he says, Saswarupanusandhanam. What is anusandhan? Anusandhan is like if thief has gone somewhere, you follow him, search for him and catch him. So God has gone inside and inside, your own real nature. So you search for him and catch him. That is bhakti. The pull, in Bengali they say tan. That tan is bhakti. And you have that tan and then you catch him. So that will give you real knowledge. Otherwise it will be a theoretical knowledge. I scold him for that. Is knowledge so easy to get? Let his bhakti first mature. Bhakti should mature. It should not be an ordinary bhakti. The master told Tarak and Dakshineshwar, the emotion and bhakti are by no means the last word. So, bhakti, emotion is not the correct word. Feeling and bhakti is not the last word, but you have to have that. And through that you go to knowledge. M. What other things did he say about you? Narendra. Once I said to him, the forms of God and things like that which you see in your visions are all figments of your imagination. So Naren used to directly talk, which he did not feel to be correct. And then only he got the answers. He had so much faith in my word that he went to the Divine Mother in the temple and told her what I had said to him. He asked her, are these hallucinations then? Afterwards, he said to me, Mother told me that all these are real. Now, this also we should understand. Many times I understood that mother is not different from Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna appears as a man, but his real nature is God. So whether he goes to temple or wherever, he refers to the knowledge which his real nature has, and that he gets the answers. And that stands supreme because as a man, he is having faith in Narendra's words. Perhaps you remember that he said to me, when you sing, he who dwells here, touching his heart like a snake. He says, as it were, steady and listens to your music. So that was the quality of Narendra's music. Thakur, the inner personality of Thakur, is steadily listening to what Narendra is singing. He has no doubt said many things about me, but what have I realized? So Narendra recounted all these things, what Thakur told. But he is feeling what I have realized. So this hankering is very important to him. Now you have got on the garb of Shiva, you cannot touch money. Do you remember the master story? Narendra, please tell it to me. A Bahurupi, that is a man who takes on many forms. A Bahurupi disguised himself as Shiva and visited a house. The master of the house wanted to give him a rupee, but he did not accept it. Then the mendicant went home, removed his disguise, came back to the gentleman and asked for the rupee. Why didn't you accept it before? He was asked, he said, I was impersonating Shiva, a sannyasi. I couldn't touch money at that time. So this means you are now a sadhaka. And afterwards, you will realize and then teach the people. When Narendra heard this story, he laughed a long while because that was a really funny story told by Thakur. You have now put on the garb of a physician, as it were. You have become the guardian of these young men. Yours is the entire responsibility. You have to bring up the brothers of the monastery. So you don't should anchor about your own realization. Narendra, whatever spiritual disciplines we are, another topic, huh? Whatever spiritual disciplines we are practicing here are in obedience to the Master's command. But it is strange that Ram Babu criticizes us for our spiritual practices. He says, you have seen him. What need have we of any such practice? Let people act according to their faith. So Ram Babu believes in a different way. He has the grace of Thakur, he need not do anything. But you are sannyasis and Thakur has taught you to practice, so you should go according to your own. Narendra. But the master asked us to practice sadhana, but Narendra was again telling him about the master's love for him. So there we stop today. I have an announcement to make. On Monday 11 in the evening, I have a special lecture in Nagpur University. It is in Marathi. But because of that, I will not be able to hold this gospel class on Monday. So we'll resume this on Tuesday. So one day, Sunday we don't have a class. So in Monday also, we have to miss this gospel class because of some other engagement. ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ॐ तत्सत् Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.